Morning, everybody. How are you all? Happy Monday. Except it's not really that happy. The leader of the Canadian opposition, Jack Layton, died today. He was 61. He was the guy who he was a bit of a role model for me because he was such an unapologetic liberal warrior. I never saw him compromise. I never saw him give in. I never saw him stop standing up for what he believed in. And the world is the world's a better place because he was here. He's one of the people that really fought to bring gay marriage, by the way, to Canada, so we love that. Jack himself was straight, but he was the first strong political ally of the gay community that I was ever aware of. I met Jack the first time in 1990. I gotta take you back to this. All right, so you just got a picture. Me, 1990. This is my college jacket, and I showed up to my first gay protest wearing this. The reason I was wearing this was that it was, at the time, the mayor of Toronto was Art Eggleton. He was an asshole. He refused to proclaim Gay Pride Day and, was sort of like, he wasn't openly homophobic, he was what I call obnoxiously dismissively homophobic. Being gay was a private matter, but we knew all about his girlfriend. One of those do as I say, not as I do types. So, they kept trying to get him to proclaim Gay Pride Day. He, by the way, would proclaim Muppet Babies Day. We had a Muppet Babies Day, but we never had a Gay Pride Day. But he decided that instead of just refusing to proclaim Gay Pride Day, that he would get a really big kick out of adding insult to injury. And he proclaimed Equality Day. Equality Day was not just for gay people, it was the day that we could all be equal. So, because we only needed one day of that. And Equality Day, of course, was not a public event. You actually had to be a city employee to attend it. And it was in January, when it's negative 20 degrees outside, so we couldn't have a parade, and we couldn't have a beer garden, and we couldn't have, a block party. There's no bands outside playing. It was kind of like wiping your ass with the pride flag and then, pissing on the AIDS memorial. That's the kind of guy he was. He got fired for giving his ex-girlfriend a job or something like that. I was very happy about that. Anyway, I showed up to the protest. I remember taking the day off of school, and I went down to Toronto City Hall. There's this big, huge kind of square out in front called Nathan Phillips Square. And I went down there, and I showed up in my jacket, and I'm all... You just got to picture this. Like, I didn't have any facial hair, and I had, like, my flat-top haircut with big-ass sideburns and the whole bit. And I kind of walk up, and I'm like, hey, And because I had that kind of cute little college boy look, which at the time, the news media was kind of all over any kind of gay person that didn't, look like a member of the Village People, because they thought that was kind of cool. And they all kind of came up to take my picture. And I just remember this guy walked up to me, and he goes, here, hold this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was this sign that said, as I remember it, it said closets are for clothes. And I was standing there holding this sign, and I'm kind of looking at it to see what it says, and that picture wound up in the paper. The guy who handed me the sign was Jack, and he understood the value of a photograph like that, and understood the how something like that could probably do some good. So we had our protest, and we laughed our heads off, and we sang songs, and we talked about how, what a complete farce the Equality Day was. And then at the end of the protest, Jack says, well, you know what? They're having Equality Day inside the City Hall, so what do you say we go? And we all kind of looked at each other and we were like, well, it's not for the public. And he was just like, well, we're going anyway. And I remember him saying, they won't let you in with the signs, so put the signs down here, just leave them at the door, and we're all going in together. And there was like 20 or 30 of us. It wasn't like a huge thing. And we walked right in the front door, right behind Jack, and he walked in there with the big, proud smile on his face, and said I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was essentially sort of like, people of Toronto, I give you the gay community. I mean, it was something like that. Like, it was polite, but kind of in a sort of twisted sort of reminding people exactly how, completely ridiculous. Anyway, so that was Jack, and I remember meeting him then, and he was so nice to me during that. And I was kind of amazed. He was the first, sort of straight ally of the gay community. There was nothing in it for him, He was just doing it because he thought it was the right thing to do. A couple years later, I ran into Jack and his wife Olivia, and it was at, I don't know, some benefit. And somebody had told me this joke about how many people does it take to change a light bulb in Toronto, and it was like one person to get up on the chair to change the light bulb, one skinhead to kick it out from under him, 5 people to stand around and talk about how somebody should do something. Hey! 5 people to whine about how it's still dark, and 2 council members to blame Jack Layton for the entire thing. And I told Jack Layton this joke, and I wasn't really sure how he would take it, and he and his wife just, killed themselves laughing, and I remember Jack just going, oh God, I wish I could tell that, and it was just, you could tell that he was sort of that's really fun, it's sort of but anyway. Flash forward a few years later, and my band Plastic Palace People, we were pretty successful in the Toronto sort of Queen Street scene and stuff, and we wound up playing a benefit for it was like PETA or something like that. I can't remember. It was like an animal rights thing, and Jack was hosting it. And I remember we finished and we got off stage, and Jack came running up to me. And I remember him saying, Jason, oh my God, that was so great. And I remember just being blown away that he remembered my name, because we'd only talked a few times and that, but he remembered that. And I remember him saying, I didn't even know you were in a band. And it was that kind of thing. He was a really great guy. He eventually ended up the leader of the NDP nationally. At the time, he was just a municipal guy when I met him, but he is one of the guys who just never gave in. We have Jack to thank for helping speed along, a lot of things with the gay community. Not just, oh, by the way, yeah, they spelled my name wrong on this, and I never got it fixed. In case, because I know that I'm going to get emails about that, and people going, how come it's spelled with it? Yeah, it's just, I was a college student, I was flat broke. Anyway, he did a lot for the community. He helped get us marriage, he helped get us equality, he helped get us protections, he helped get us a lot. And he also showed us that it was possible to have a debate without getting angry. And he showed us that you should really never give in. You should never give an inch, but you should find a way to find consensus, which is, it sounds like it's impossible to do both, but he kind of taught us how to do it. He was always nice to everybody. He was always greeting everybody with a big smile, and yeah, he was a great guy, and I'm gonna miss him. So happy Monday, everybody, and I hope Jack's in a better place. See y'all later.